Welcome our viewers and our followers to another fantastic episode. This time we're going to explore with you how one of our fantastic coaches that you are going to know very, very soon transitioned from being an employee to becoming an entrepreneur in its full right and also becoming a mindset coach where today he's helping hundreds of people change their mindset, change their perspectives, but also impacting them in a very, very positive way. And with that, I would like to usher in my co-founder, Coach Silpa, as well, and Coach Razmig as well. Both of you, welcome to this fantastic episode.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Gerald. And let me also start by welcoming all our fantastic viewers and audience for Lead Talk uh, podcast as well as Lead Talk TV, because both the platforms are having a huge traction. And we are also very grateful for few people amongst you who have reached to us with their own success stories, which they want to share with the world. And we always encourage you to share your journey, your struggles, and how you have won over those struggles to create a beautiful life for you so that you can inspire other people as well. And you may get an opportunity to come on an interview just like how Coach Razmig is with us. So please do keep writing to us, and we are very grateful for all your responses. And today, I'm sure with Coach Razmig, we're going to have a fantastic conversation.
Absolutely. So today is going to be very special because as we speak to our special guest, Coach Razmig, we are going to know what it feels like, what it means to move from one stage of life to being where you become a global leader, you become a person of influence and a person of impact. And so I would like to ask my colleague, Coach Shilpa, to tell us a little bit who Coach Razmig is so that the audience gets to know who he is and we take it from there. Coach
Yes,
Shilpa.
absolutely. My pleasure to introduce Coach Razmig Malkassian. Okay, so welcome, Coach Razmig Malkassian. And he is a high ticket closer, a high ticket coach, consultant, and a mindset coach. In early years, Razmig comes from an entrepreneurial family in the car business. So he realized early that he hated dealing with indigenous and needy people and felt limited in his potential by how traditional business was run. So he decided quite early to get unstuck and finally embark on a journey, a lifelong journey of personal growth, which also leads to professional success.
Yes.
So in his journey of growth, he likes studying how and why people make decisions, what inspires them, what makes them stick to their decisions, and why some people are not able to do that. He also liked using his gift of dispelling complexity. So he loves to turn the complexity in people's life to create simple solutions that can transform their lives. And today, after this transformation journey, Coach Razmig helps six-figure entrepreneurs to shift their perspective and break through growth challenges. In a way, he helps guide those who are committed to making their reality match their bigger vision and thereby helping them create a better world around. Because as we all know, when entrepreneurs are getting bigger and they are realizing their dreams and vision, they're creating a larger impact and an influence on our society and with an increased contribution.
Yes.
So, with that introduction, I would also like to state a very special fact about Coach Razmig, that he's also known as a free thinking catalyst and the wizard of full cells by his clients. And we would know what exactly that means when we come to the interview questions with Coach Razmig.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
before I hand over to Coach Gerald, I would like to mention a quote directly from Razmig. He says, mindset is magical. It instantly conjures or dispels that which holds us back, and questions are the spells that cast it. I will read this beautiful quote again because this is our tradition and our daily, our ritual for
Yes,
all our episodes, because we understand the power of quotes. So, Coach
exactly.
Razmig says, mindset is magical. It instantly conjures or dispels that which holds us back, and questions are the spells that cast it. Over to you,
Beautiful,
Gerard.
beautiful, beautiful. Welcome, Coach Razmig. This is your platform. It's your opportunity to change lives as a coach. I really like the mindset quote. And as you said, mindset is magical.
Hmm.
As you just listen to this episode, be assured that your life is in for transformation. And as we mentioned a little while ago, this podcast is going to explore how Coach Razmig transitioned from being an employee to becoming an entrepreneur who is trusted, who is of high impact. And now, over the couple of years, over the last 3 years, he has doubled his revenue every year over the last 3 years.
Mhm.
And now, also, in addition to being a closer, to being a coach, he is a remote sales team leader. We will explore how he became a certified coach and how he's helping other businesses, just like yours, if you're a business owner, and sitting on those advisory boards in multiple industries, changing lives at that high level. And we will also explore with him how he became an effective leader, where right now he's changing lives. And the important thing, if you stick with us to the last moment, we are going to unveil a special gift from Coach Razmig. So stay
Yes.
tuned in. All right. So, with that, I would like to invite my colleague, Coach Silva, to take us with this journey on. Coach Silva, go for it.
Okay, let's get started, Coach
Yeah.
Razmig. We are in for a treat, audience. I'm very sure of that. So, Coach Razmig, let's start by you telling us about your life journey in brief from your early career days till date.
Well, before I answer that question, I want to thank you both for that wonderful introduction. I couldn't have said it better myself. And I want to thank you, and I feel honored that you decided to invite me on this.
Yes.
I hope that I will be able to help at least one person's trajectory in life towards the
Hmm,
better.
sure.
Uh, so, uh, coming back to your question, having said that, um, my early life was dictated by my parents.
Mhm.
And
Hmm,
as a dutiful son, I followed, not knowing exactly in which direction they wanted me to go.
Mhm.
Uh, but what's interesting is that despite that direction, I never stopped trying to understand why things happen. Even
hmm,
as a young kid, I remember very, very clearly. My dad was complaining about why he used to have a garage and he used to be in the Volkswagen, and we were driving and he was complaining about the cars rusting. Me as a young kid, and this is 1970s,
Mhm.
uh, I asked him, well, why don't you talk to Volkswagen and have them make the panels out of plastic? He
Mhm.
said,
hmm,
no, that's not possible. And years later, lo and behold, the whole bottom of the cars are made out of plastic.
True.
So that made me realize, thinking back, that whatever people say as
hmm,
statements may sound real, but it actually might be false. So don't stop asking questions.
Beautiful.
Anyways,
wow.
that started when I was about 10, 11 years old. So when I started my education and went into university, I graduated as the first university graduate in the family. My father was very proud. And
Mhm.
his whole idea was for me to take over the car dealership.
Hmm,
But 2, 3 years in, I wasn't happy. I went into work
Mhm.
not wanting to be there. I was thinking of there has to be something better. I was thinking instead of focusing on my job, as first a service advisor, and then a parts manager, and then a service dispatcher, and then a salesman, sales manager. So I went through the ranks. I saw all the different aspects. And although I didn't like running a business with 100 employees, with all of those requests and unhappiness that they had, and not wanting to work and not being there, doing things without understanding, it really bothered me. So I didn't like the way business was done, but I did not have an example of how I would be better at doing business.
Business, yes.
So I started thinking of, and at night I started having visions. And the vision that I had was I was on this side of a precipice, and there was fog, but I could see that on the other side was the promised land. The challenge was
Beautiful.
figuring out how to get on the other side. And sometimes in my dreams, I dreamt I could fly.
Wow.
But I knew that on the other side, there would be the possibility of working without brick and mortar, without employees, internationally, being able to travel. And this is back in the 70s, where 80s, early 80s, when computers were just coming out. I had no idea of what was going on, but that was the vision I had. Now, I did not know how to make it happen.
Phenomenal.
And I did not have the courage to stand up to my father, because I would have let him down with all his dreams and aspirations and all the sacrifices they made, leaving Africa, going to Germany, then Italy, and then moving to Canada for my sake and my brother and sister. But my salvation came when my dad sold his business. He made a couple of wrong decisions, which were also a good way for me to learn. But he had to sell his business. And with that, I was in my early 30s. I had 2 children in private school, a mortgage, and a wife that wasn't working, a lot of obligations. And I started doing what my parents should have encouraged me to do when I was in my teenage years. And because I had lost trust in my father's leadership, I became a lone wolf. Thankfully, I was very determined. I was very inquisitive. I was very creative in figuring things out and finding answers. But it took me 30 years to finally understand that what I knew and how I knew to do things, no matter how creative I was not making my vision a reality, which was what I shared with you a minute ago. And then I started thinking, okay, I need help. Whatever it is that is going to happen there is outside of my field of awareness.
Yes.
My field of awareness, not even expertise. So I started looking for coaches, mentors, and different experts. And it took me about a dozen interviews before I fell on Dan Lok. And Dan Lok resonated with the way I like to interact with people, how I'd like to sell. And I went all in. I was about 2 months away from losing my house.
Wow.
I invested $4,000, which was basically everything that I had on my credit cards, without telling my wife, because she was going to fly off the handle if she knew that's what I was doing.
I know, yeah.
But that changed my life. So getting help in somebody that had already realized what I was hoping, dreaming, envisioning, to give me some structure and guidance and just show me the way, was a change that I needed. And I realized that whatever it was, I needed some kind of guide, a mentor, a role model to follow. And that's what brought me to where I am today.
Wow,
Beautiful.
that's so beautiful, actually. And with that, actually, it brings to my mind, because we always ask this question, and which is a prime question in our interview, is that, Coach Razmig, that what exactly helped you because everybody remembers that particular moment in life, right? When you shift the gears and start achieving the greater success in life. So we call it as a lead talk moment, when you decided that you are going to lead your life, right? And you will only listen to the talk in your mind, which is empowering you. That's a lead talk moment. So what is that lead talk moment for you, Coach Razmig?
That's an excellent question. Let me think about that for a minute. Is realizing that the system that others had put in place was not fulfilling me, and deciding that if I really wanted to contribute and be not happy, but grow and bring value to myself and to my family, I had to create something that didn't exist at that point in time. So
Beautiful.
the decision that I was not employable, the decision that I could not fit into somebody else's system, was that inflection point for me.
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful. That's very powerful.
And if I may ask, was there any particular day or instance? Sorry, Coach Gerard, you're saying something. Okay. So, is there any particular day or instant or a moment you remember? Because most of the times we remember that moment or a day in life when we decide this is enough and we shift the gears. So, would you recall anything like that, or it was a process, like it was a journey?
It was a process.
Got,
It started with an unhappiness, me going
got it.
into work and searching for a better solution. And the realization came after a certain time. I wouldn't be able to give you a specific date. I can tell you the feeling that I had,
Yes. Yes.
realizing that this is this is ridiculous. I'm not employable. Forget it. Don't even try.
I love
That's it.
that.
I love that. That's fantastic. And so once you realize that I'm not employable, this is ridiculous. What were these specific steps you took to start this journey of transition?
So the steps that I took, I started looking for alternative ways of generating income, creating value. I started doing some consulting with first of all, I started off with, okay, let me buy a business.
Mhm.
The opportunity is a lot of people are going on to retirement. They don't have a succession plan. Let me find some businesses that I'd be interested in taking over, start learning about it, and move in there. But then I realized that that was a very slow, and again, it brought me back to the same old way of doing things, being constrained by others' systems. So I said, no, forget that. Um, so I finally bought a business with basically $100 out of my pocket.
Mhm.
The seller financed the whole thing, but they were moving completely out, and I was taking over, and I transitioned the business from manual to digital, uh, hands-on touch type of approach to remote. So
Okay.
that was my first iteration with a remote team, no employees.
Mhm.
So it was a gradual evolution again on testing different things that worked more or less,
Mhm.
but not ideal. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I answered the question, but that's basically how I went about doing things. And throughout all of this, I had to pay for some bills. So I tried all sorts of things. I delivered newspapers at night. I sold the duct cleaning services.
Mhm.
I realized I didn't like that approach. So a lot of the things I did over the 30 years showed me what I shouldn't be doing, what I didn't enjoy doing, and
Mm-hmm.
what it is that doesn't work. So I
Okay.
learned a lot about what that is.
Okay.
Wow.
And that gives us a good segue to my next question, which says, so what are the key lessons you learned along this transition journey?
That I didn't have to invest 30 years had I had a guide, and if I had looked for a guide that I trusted, that I
Hmm.
felt comfortable working with, and that I could follow without question. Uh, that not that I wanted to join a cult. No, not that's not what I'm talking about. But somebody that resonated from my gut, from my inner self, that
Mhm.
yes, this is the way that resonates with me, and then just copy and follow their lead. If I had done that, I would have been here 25 years ago.
Wow,
Wow.
that's
That's
huge.
really incredible. That's
That's
Yes.
really
really
incredible.
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely. And with that, Coach Razmig, there is one curious question I have for some time in my mind since I read about you. Is that since we're talking about the mindset shift and the key lessons learned, because if that would have made an impact of 25 years in life. So, as a mindset coach and a free thinking catalyst, what are
Mhm.
the mindset shifts that are essential for this sustainable transition or transformation?
The first mindset shift is that understanding that everything that we see
Mm.
Hmm.
is a story that we've built around what pain we want to avoid.
Hmm.
Wow, that's very powerful.
Um, so the story are all lies, are all comforts, are all warm blankets that we wrap ourselves in to not have to face the pain. But our real potential is being able to move through that painful part to really get to what it is that we want. And that brings me back to my original vision. I'm on
Mhm.
this side. This is
Hmm.
the story that I've been told and I've been built around what I know.
Mhm.
This, what I really want is on the other side of the precipice, and the pain is getting across that gorge, and having the courage and having someone to guide you through that is the key. That's the first
Wow.
mindset shift that I
Wow.
have. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's fantastic because here you're using pain as your driving force to
Mhm.
cut through the journey, to cut through that fog we create around us. So you are actually using the pain. Wow, that's a brilliant thought. Thank you for
Absolutely.
sharing that. And I also want to understand what exactly you mean by being a free thinking catalyst.
Well, a free thinking catalyst is, instead of putting constraints that society imposes on us,
Mhm.
be open to whatever the information that's coming to you and looking at it from fresh
Hmm.
eyes and asking, what if? Why would that not be possible? Let's see what is the commonality here, because we're all connected. And society makes us think, because they want to categorize us in particular niches so that we can be part of the system,
Hmm.
and they want us to disconnect the different elements, whereas
Hmm.
everything is connected. So my free thinking is basically, I don't put any constraints. I just look at the situation by trying to think, okay, how can these things be connected? How can these things help each other exponentially instead of linearly? What can we do better? How can we do different? What is the value that this person brings, no matter whether a 2-year-old child or a 70-year-old person,
Mhm.
whether they're a Muslim, whether they're a Christian, whether they're a woman, whether they're a man, doesn't make a difference. Everybody has some value. We all come from the same. We all come from the
Source.
same.
So,
No, from the same.
yeah,
And we're just different expressions, and that is so beautiful because
Yeah.
we have different ways of experiencing life, and that just um, feeds our experience. And let's create something different and new from all of our shared experiences. That's
beautiful,
free thinking, as far as I
Wow.
can best explain it.
beautiful.
This was the best explanation, I would think. Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more.
Yes. And since we're talking about the mindset shift and the free thinking, there would be some beliefs that people have to overcome when they are shifting the gears and getting into the unknown space, right? So, what kind of money or other unhelpful beliefs did you have to overcome for reaching where you are today?
First of all, I had to overcome ego,
Hmm.
shame,
Mhm.
the perception of shame that other people would have towards me.
Mhm.
Number
Hmm.
one. Number two, the expectations that others have put on me, because my potential is limited by their limiting beliefs. and my perspective on resources.
Mm.
Most people think that money is difficult to get.
Hmm.
Yes, in the way that we are trained, money is difficult to get, but that is a lie. Money is the easiest thing, the most common and most useless, I wouldn't say useless, but the most available resource on earth. It's just a piece of paper. The difference between this and money is what's printed on it and what we believe it holds. The most rare commodity is time,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
the most precious commodity that nobody talks about
Mhm.
is imagination.
Yeah, I love that.
Wow.
And
Wow.
my wife always was, and I can't blame her. That's the way she's been brought up, and that's what she loves and how she expresses. She used to run and get gifts for the kids
Hmm.
at birthdays. I said, those things are for you. They're not for the kids. Do you realize that they open the gift, they put the toy on the side, and they spend hours playing with the box? Why do you think that is? The best gift you can give your children and your friends is the gift of imagination.
Wow.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Thank you for sharing that, because people always talk about either in terms of money or either in terms of time. And you have given us the third dimension to actually focus on. That's really beautiful.
Imagination. That's powerful.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, Kojal.
Just hearing you, Coach Razmig, and I'm sure listeners you agree with me. We did not mislead you. This is fantastic, right? We cannot thank you enough, Coach Razmig. We know the passion. We feel it every inch of the way, the passion, the tranquility, the vulnerability, the truthfulness with which you come to this show. I'm
Yeah.
sure, audience, as you're listening to this, you've taken plenty of notes. I've taken a lot of notes too, right? And I know I've listened to this. So my appeal and challenge to you, audience, is listen to this at least twice and take plenty of notes. There are a lot of ideas that are pretty transformational if you think about them. And probably one of the things I want to mention here, Coach
Mhm.
Razmig has said, right now at this point in his life, he is going back to where it all began and looking at his life again. And as we begin January 2023, for those of you who have not planned out your year, probably this is a good point for you to look. Just take the example of Coach Razmig. Look back at your life with a new lens, with an expanded dimension, and see, okay, who can help me? How can Coach Razmig, how can Coach Shilpa, maybe Coach Gerard, or any other person out there who has done that, who has been there, how can they make my journey short, right? Because one of the things Coach Razmig mentions pretty painfully is the last 30 years he spent going back and forth. He wished that somebody told him that you didn't have to figure this by yourself.
Yeah.
Look for somebody who has been there, who has done that, and who resonates deeply with you. So you take them to the next, they can take you to the next level without you having to climb the hill yourself. Coach
Yes.
Shilpa, what would you
Yes,
like to add?
absolutely. Yeah. First of all, I would like to really express my gratitude, and I'm really thankful for Coach Razmig being here
Mm,
by mind, body, and spirit, as he is always
yeah,
fully present with you when you spend time with him. And that's why he is also bringing us a special gift. Should we tell our audience, Coach Gerald, what is the special,
go
unique
ahead.
gift?
You better tell
Okay.
them.
Okay, so our audience is getting a special opportunity, the Lead Talk audience, to grab a special gift, to book time, 20-minute special moments with Coach Razmig, and unlock potential. Unlock your potential session with Coach Razmig as a gift to Lead Talk audience. And we are grateful for him to be open and give us this gift to be offered to our audience as the beginning of the new year, which can set tone for the decades to come. And his booking links will be made available in the episode link below. So
Good.
that is the big surprise for our audience and biggest opportunity. I think I would be the first one to click on that link as well, because I would never spare any opportunity to have conversation with Coach Razmig.
Same here, same here. We are going to be the first gift takers, right? So this is an incredible gift, Coach Razmig. Somebody like myself and like Coach Shilpa who have had the opportunity to learn alongside you, to interact with you. This is a great opportunity. We know you're extremely busy, and really you offering your time. This is the most prized commodity
Yes.
that somebody can ever loan you and give
Offer.
you,
Yes.
offer you. So again, from the bottom of my heart, I really, really like to appreciate this. This is an incredible gift. And the other thing you mentioned as one of your leadership lessons is that you learn that the more you give, the more you get. And I'd like to say this again as audience. This is a clear manifestation of what true leadership is. True success is you don't only succeed by yourself and for yourself, but you succeed by and for others. And by serving others, you actually serve yourself. And so we've had our guest, Coach Razmig, demonstrating what true leadership is, what true success as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a mentor is. And so would like you to go ahead, do not waste this opportunity. Go ahead and make this booking call. And if you believe you resonate with his energy, and which we know you will, go ahead and arrange and have a meeting with him. And we would also like to invite you, if you're listening, if you're here for the first time, to subscribe to this episode, download it, share it with your family and friends, and be part of this family. And we also invite you to join our private communities, the career transition community that Coach Shilpa is leading, and the leadership transformation community that I'm leading. And follow us on social media so you can learn more of these tips and also suggest other experts like Coach Razmig and say, hey, I know this person, he or she would be of great benefit to the community. And this is why we invite you to reach to us on social media. And if you also have coaching needs, consulting needs, mentoring needs, or guest speaking needs, go ahead and reach to us. And do not hesitate to send us an email at leadtalkpodcast@gmail. And we're here to serve you. Coach Shilpa, I know you have some goodies, maybe some final words before we bring this to a close. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. And today's biggest takeaway is that use your pain to drive through your fog around you, which is created by other people and your own old thinking, and get that real power, because this year cannot be like previous year, and that can only happen by the actions you take today. So as we always say, take best care of yourself. On behalf of Coach Gerald and Coach Razmig, I'm wishing you all a very happy brand new year, and we would be here to serve you at the best of our capabilities. And do take advantage of every beautiful gifts coming in your way, and stop struggling, start winning. And we'll see you soon again in the next such a powerful episode.
Yes, thank you very much. Bye for now. Thank you.